Okay. Welcome back to Fire Force Anime Review, episode number 8. This is our viewing, and I kid you not about this, okay? The 12th episode of the series, The Eve of Hostilities in Asakusa, and the 191st and 192nd chapters, Senior and Junior, Stick to Your Guns. Yes, one anime episode and two manga chapters. Yeah, it's particularly weird. Here's kind of the thing: the chapters themselves. Well, these two released just 4 days apart. So I figured though it's been a week, so why not review two chapters? But let's start with the newest episode of the anime, The Eve of Hostilities in Askeda. This episode pretty much adapts like from chapters 40 to about almost the entirety of 43, with the exception of the last 3 pages. There is some minor changes here and there. Mostly it's a lot of location changes and some cuts here and there. Now, first we start off basically with the aftermath what happened in last week's episode, where the captain of Company 7 caused a lot of destruction in his district. Yeah, this is perfectly known for him to do, so company's like, hey, let's just basically help them out. Now, mostly the dialogue is mostly the same, but they add some stuff here. Like in the case of Shira, they had him just, well, mostly for him, when they have rebuilding stuff, it's mostly the same. It's just action flying. For the captain, he says, I'll move this rubbish out of the way. In the manga, you don't see what the heck he's moving. In the anime, it's a bunch of wood. Yes, a bunch of wood is lying around. And they actually show a little bit more of when Arthur was basically using his little plasma torch to seal up the little pipe. Yeah, and it's a different perspective, but it's perfectly fine. The other change they made is, well, let's see. Moki, pretty much the same. In the case of Tabaki, mostly the same, except they cut out the tiny little bit of Shira running into the woman's breast, like he usually does. hmm Excuse me. Yep. And then, of course, well, there's a joke about that later. And of course, well, we also have this thing where, let's see, they have this thing where you see the lieutenant of Captain of Company 7. He's got like burn marks on his back. It's later explained these are plasma burns that he gets from overheating. Yeah, they show him flashback exactly when they start doing the flashback at the end of the episode. Uh huh. Yep. Sorry about the picking thing. Yeah, and pretty much as far as I can tell for that, they pretty much just mostly I think proceeds mostly normal. And of course, after a day's work, of course, the guys from company seems like, hey, shift for take off your like they changed a little wording here. Like in the manga, it said take off your clothes again. In the anime, it says strip for us again. And she says primitively, no. Then of course later on, Shira meets up with the captain lieutenant of Company 7 with the little girls. Of course, talk about his breakdancing he does. Yep, and they of course they talk about the fact that according to the captain of the Company 7's captain, he says lieutenant should have been captain, but he wanted someone younger. He always been a bit like over, let's say, over his head in some matters. Yep, and then you see the guy just walking about the village, and he sees what looks like Obi and Lieutenant from Squad 8 just plotting to create more infernos. So he later on attacks them. Yeah, it's particularly a little weird situation. Now, when they attack them, they change location here for this one. In the manga, it's basically like in a street. In the anime, it's basically near a riverbed, which I think was actually a pretty smart move. And of course, when he's fighting most of the squad, like I think it was Shira and Maki up in the river. Tabaki just ends up pretty much near a tree, and of course they have to. Well, of course at this point, the lieutenant pretty much does the same thing he does in the manga. He gets him to calm down. And they do cut out something here that I'm a little surprised they cut this out. You see, like the captain of Squad 7 was basically he was going to confirm this with the store owner because they mentioned that he was at the store when he basically mentioned this, and of course Shira says that he was maybe in an alley, which he believes Shira because that he does remember that. Now they actually cut out. They actually sort of slightly kind of merge a couple scenes together here. I'm not really sure why they did this. Excuse me. Where some of the conversation for this particular scene is actually from a different scene. And you see what looks like the captain of Company 7 look like he's going to confirm this with the shop owner, but the conversation is not even seen in the anime. Maybe they're going to show it next week's anime episode because for some reason they cut it out here. I'm not really sure why, but they did. And of course, Shira talks to him about the plasma burns. They show the flashback, and that's pretty much the episode itself. Now, I should also talk about the Company's 5 at the company headquarters. Now, they do have a slight change of how it was shown when it was shown last time. Because normally they show the outside of Company 8, it looks like a dump. And apparently, Company 5 basically cleaned it up, and I love it where the fact that, well, because she's in love with Shira, she moves his desk into the Captain Obi's office. Oh, and they also added a little thing here where she puts it where his exercise equipment is put as non-essentials. I'm like, okay, that's actually quite funny. Thinking that, well, his exercise equipment is freaking non-essentials. And then, of course, she punches the guy for their question, whenever supportive questioning her. Iris, surprisingly, is the only one from Company actually still there. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think the reason why they had her stay because you can at least have somebody from Company 8 stay at HQ. Yep. Let's see, was anything else I forgot? Well, this is a minor thing, basically, where basically Shira says he's very good at kids, so he's good at taking care of these two little girls. Yeah, which I think these are supposed to be like the daughters of the captain of Company 7. Yeah, it's not explicitly saying who the parents of these two little girls are. And you see him also eating like caramel apples later on in the episode, which I think is so hilarious. And they eat them while sitting on top of the Matchbox, the big van they drive, which I think is so hilarious. Yep. But overall, this is a really good episode, definitely. And also, they keep in here. They also cut some stuff in here related to some crowd shots. Yes, because in the manga, there was actually witnesses to the fight aside for the lieutenant from Company 7. In the manga, there was actually several residents who witnessed the big brawl between the captain of Company 7 and almost the entirety of Company 8. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they cut it out for, but they did. It's particularly weird. But mostly put, they did a really good job with this episode. And definitely looking forward to next week. Yeah, and the whole minor subplot with the white evangelist stuff, yeah, that's something to say up later. Now let's talk about the two new chapters. First, it's Senior and Junior. Chapter 191 picks up where the last chapter left off, where you have Excalibur, Arthur's sword Excalibur exploding, and it also causes his body to bleed. Like, what happened to get rid of the dragon? And Maki, it's hard to get hold of yourself. Nothing's anyway. And then, of course, he sprouts wings. And then we see Obi beating up I think it's the evangelist. And then you see Shira fighting the captain of Squad 1. You see Joker. Yeah, he pops up here. And of course, well, Shira continues his fight with the captain of Squad 1, who is apparently under the influence of the evangelist. So they fight. And of course, well, Obi fights him, and of course, Shira fights the captain of Squad 1. And they pretty much fight the whole rest of the chapter. Of course, kind of an explosion. A little bit of a conversation, of course, also causes a bit of Shira's shirt to disappear. And then we lead straight into Stick to Your Guns. Yep, which was released I think it was just released just today. Yeah, this chapter just released just today. No surprise. Chapter picks up right where the last chapter left off, where you have Shira and the captain of Company 1 just fighting and talking. Of course, he goes from Shira around. Yeah. Of course, Shira does his little kick thing he does. Kicks him in the gut. Captain Squad crushes him. And they fight pretty much the whole chapter. It's like haymaker. He basically beats the living crap out of him. And I think this is Joker says, Shira. First episode is basically just punch him right in the face and he smile. He does his nervous smile at it. And he punched him right in the where his shirt was torn. And the last chapter where basically punched in the gut. Then he got knocked down, plows him right at him. And that chap says, "You have no idea who I am. I accept you with open arms." What? Aimlessly you wander through life you're you're at this fight. Then why don't you know what to do when there's no option? Or the one aimlessly. I'll say wrong. You have no idea who I am. I accept you with open arms. Okay? And next chapter is going to be called The Hero and the Lion. Interesting. Yeah, mostly put these two are just continuation of at least about three major fights. Yeah, it's just Arthur versus the Drag, which I think this fight is kind of ended, but don't count Arthur out yet. We have Arthur, we have Shira versus the Captain of Squad 1. They continue their fight that's been going on for quite a while. And we see a little bit of fight between Obanai and I think it's supposed to be the Evangelist. And that's pretty much mostly the whole two chapters itself. Not much progression these two chapters. Yeah, it's like just a continuation more of their fight. So, but it does advance a little bit, not much. I'm gonna give both these chapters an 8.5 out of 10. They're good chapters, but it's just they don't really advance the plot of the series very much, though. Yeah, this arc has been going on now since chapter 180. Yeah, 180 this arc was going on for, and well, basically about 13 chapters so far. Yeah, but that's basically what I can tell, anyways, because the whole thing with the rescue. That I think this arc has been going on now since chapter 175, not 180. So effectively, it's going on for about 18 chapters. Not technically the longest arc of the series. No, not really. I think the longest arc of the series is probably the joint investigation arc. Yeah, that one's like 15 chapters right there. I mean, it could be that. That's one of the more longer ones. I would probably say the longest one is Another World arc. That's 24 chapters. That one is. That's one in the anime. They come together pretty soon. Askari, Askaru, Asuka, I think it's pronounced name down. Yeah, this one's got roughly about 8 chapters left. So, yeah, this arc probably wrapped up in about 2 episodes. Yes, I think in the case of the anime, this wrapped up by episode 13, and probably 14 will probably start with the Vulcan's Workshop arc. Yeah, which this itself is only just 15 chapters. Yeah, that itself probably would last about 4 episodes. Yeah, about 4 episodes exactly. And they'll probably start at that point the Another World arc. They're probably at the rate they're going right now. I'd say the season probably will end with Another World arc. It's possible, but it all depends upon what Studio Dave wants to do when it comes to a particular series. Yep, so that's it for this particular review. We got one more review I'm going to do. A view of a comic. You're basically doing comic art for 2 Marvel trades. One is Avengers trade, the other, of course, is a Spider-Man related trade, okay? But see you next video. Bye.